everyone, I'm Miss Robinson, your Instructional Technology Resource Teacher, or ITRT, and I'm so excited to be joining you today for your Hour of Code. Teachers, before we begin, please make sure that your students have access to computers, that they are turned on and logged into, and that they have Clever up and ready to go. Their screen should look like mine. Remember, if you do not have enough computers for every student to have their own during this activity, students can certainly share and play the game together. Students, as your teachers are going around checking to make sure that your computer is ready for our coding game, watch these videos to show you just how cool coding can be.
Hi, I'm Leah.
And I'm Tanya.
And we're lucky enough to be studying computer science.
Hi, I'm Tanya.
We think it's terrible that 90% of schools don't teach it.
They definitely didn't offer it at my high school.
Thanks.
So we're trying to make this video to show that anybody can learn. We want to get 10 million students to do the Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
The Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
The Hour of Code!
How do you get him to get to the sunflower? He needs to do some actions.
I got it.
Hey!
And then we'll run it and see what happens.
Amazing.
There we go.
You just wrote your first program.
I wrote it?
Yeah. This is the code that you just wrote.
Very awesome.
I thought like code was like FBI hacker symbols and stuff.
A little bit of problem solving, a little bit of logic. It's like instructions.
Programming is a lot easier today. Don't just play on your phone, program it.
All right.
Awesome.
How does someone go about getting a job?
Maybe take an online class, find a class at a community college. You can get one of the best paying jobs in the world.
I think medicine's moving into the whole computer age.
Technology touches every part of our lives. If you can create technology, you can change the world.
So we're excited that you are participating in today's Hour of Code.
We just did 2 lines of code. 3 lines of code. 4 lines.
7 lines.
5 lines.
Escribir 25 líneas de código.
5 lines.
60 lines of code.
99 lines.
60 lines.
18 lines of code.
75 lines of code.
Doesn't matter how old you are.
Todos lo pueden hacer.
The Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
Ya programme a code.
The Hour of Code.
The Hour of Code.
The Hour of Code.
Whether you're a young man or a young woman, whether you live in a city or a rural area,
Everybody in this country should learn how to program a computer.
And I just completed the
Hour of Code.
It's actually really easy to learn.
Girls should learn this too.
Understand that language. That's going to be the future.
Anyone can learn computer science. And you can learn too.
Jack Dorsey, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, all of y'all. I'm learning.
give it a shot.
Here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people. Spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people. Spread it across the country. Here we go.
My name's Kinsley. I work at Facebook as a software engineer. The goal of Facebook is to make the world a more open and connected place. I work on the Save for Later team, which lets you save cool things you find on the internet, like videos, posts, things like that, so you can come back to them later. I like working at Facebook because I get to work with a lot of smart people. I get to work on something that over 1 billion people use on the planet. I just enjoy working with my coworkers. Having diverse team members is also important because, especially at Facebook, where you're trying to make a product for the whole world, you can't have just a single set of people. You want to represent the people you're trying to serve. You may use Facebook one way, but someone could be using it completely differently. Or people are in different situations, so not everyone has the newest smartphone. You might have to remember that there's some people in other countries and lower end devices. You have to make sure it works for them. Well, that, it sort of scratches that problem solving part of my brain. So I get to come in and just sort of think about how to do something, then get to see if my idea works or not. Computers are really good at telling you really quickly if something's gonna work or not. Yeah. Probably my first job I remember wanting to have was I wanted to be an astronaut. I went to this summer program when I was in 3rd or 4th grade. and someone there taught me how to use this old programming language called HyperCard. And with that, I made like a really basic game where you like built like a little ship and like flew it across the solar system. After that, I like sort of just played around with computers a little bit. And I was lucky my high school had a programming class, so I had to learn more about programming there. A career in tech is attainable by anyone. All you really need to get started is just a computer. You don't have to start large, you can make something super small. I made like a game that only I ever played, or when I was in high school, I made like a program only I use that would like help me solve my math problems. Computer science is definitely a creative medium. There's not like one way to solve a problem. So it's up to you to sort of come up with, given your constraints, come up with a creative solution. But probably the best way to get started is just, you can try like emulating something you like an app you like or a game or something. Make something just for yourself. There's nothing really stopping you.
My name is Federico Gomez. I'm originally from Puebla, Mexico. Most of my family are engineers, but they are engineers who do things with their hands. I turned out to be an engineer who codes. I write software which scans images, looking for bad images that we know are illegal. I work very closely with organizations like the National Center for Missing Children. At the end of the day, the kind of content that we work on is content we just don't want to have online. And we are impacting the people who have been affected by that content by just making sure it doesn't get distributed again. When I was about 12 or 13, there was a research lab close to where I used to live. Turned out that they needed someone who could code. I really couldn't code at the time, but I said, oh, I'll do it. I'll work on this for the summer. So I started working at the lab, and I had there my book of C language that I was just reading through, trying to learn how to move this little engine. And it took me forever to just figure it out, but eventually it worked. I just enjoyed doing it. I would stay late at night until I started working, and I realized that that was something I really liked doing. When I was my freshman year in Mexico, in a small school, I decided I wanted to work for any of the big companies in the US. So I sent my resume to every company I knew, and I didn't hear anything for a year. All of a sudden I got an email saying Microsoft was coming to recruit, and I went all in, and I didn't pass the first interview. But they saw that I was so passionate about doing something with code that they interviewed me the next year. And after that, I ended up coming here to Microsoft. To solve a real-life problem is not only about the code. The code is a piece of it, but you need to think about the whole ecosystem. And Microsoft has people who have expertise on all these different areas. So I meet with lawyers, I meet with business analysts, I meet with different people in the company to be able to understand the problem better and together try to really find a solution. Usually I spend the mornings meetings and do that kind of work, and then in the evening I just put my headphones on and just start coding. Find something that you're passionate about, like a problem in the world that you think is important, and then look how you can partner with nonprofit or find people who are already working there and help them. You know, use your skill, use your passion, use your energy to help solve a problem. You will realize that you can bring a lot to the table. Come up with new ideas on how you can have impact. Just keep knocking doors. Eventually one does open.
I'm a software engineer at Instagram. I work on the Android app for Instagram. Do you want me to say that all in one sentence? Instagram is just a good product. It's just something very user-facing and it's like very dear to people's hearts. I always liked gadgets. Other than that, I hated coding. Didn't enjoy it at all. So I was like, I'm not gonna do this for life. There's no way I'm gonna do this in college. I just passed it barely, It was just text on a screen. There were no pictures, there were no graphics. I just didn't get it. How is this text making the computer do this? I started enjoying coding after college when I started doing marketing, and they needed a website to be built, and so I just ended up coding, learning how to do a website that way, and then I redid it multiple times, and then learned about UI and interaction design. I would just do it day and night, I just spent hours and hours at this computer trying to fix things and like get things to work because it's so much fun. It's just these hairs on the back of your neck just start to stand up and you're just like, oh, I got it, it works. You know, that's when I started to love coding. What computer science is that it's a way to impact the world. I would say try it out. There's so many different things you could do, whether you could be coding mobile applications, websites, desktop applications. See if your mind works that way and if you like it. And if you love technology, I don't understand why you're not coding.
I think 19th century was about the Industrial Revolution, about electricity, about disrupting the agricultural society and making it more advanced. The 20th century was about physics and engineering to do more things easier in our everyday life, from refrigerators to washing machines.
How convenient.
And the 21st century is definitely the digital age. It's the internet.
Even if you want to become a race car driver or play baseball or build a house, all of these things have been turned upside down by software.
The lettuce bot is a robot that can sense its environment. Every single hour, this lettuce bot is seeing 1.5 million plants, and it's taking individual action on those plants. We enable lettuce growers to have higher yields in their field by helping make it cheaper, by helping produce food in a more sustainable way. And that wasn't previously possible without computer science and technology.
I have a really fun job where we build Polyvore, which kind of combines all my favorite things, so programming as well as fashion and art and design and shopping. Half the products you use these days are software products that you play with on maybe your phone. And so if you want to build something cool, you need to know programming, right? And there's so many things that you can do with computer science. So if you just work backwards from the cool thing that you want to build and figure out what that is, a lot of times computer programming is part of that, right? So you should learn the skill.
It's really exciting right now. The technology that we're developing right now is going to be used by your doctor in the next decade. When you come into the office and you're sick, the doctor is going to be like, all right, spit in this cup. And I will put it into this magic machine, which is a sequencer. And in an hour, I can tell you what you have or what's wrong with you. So if we're looking for a new virus, for example, we'll download a database of all the viruses that are known. And we'll search for, our sequence of interest against a whole database of all viruses. So you still need somebody to analyze the data. The computer is not smart enough yet.
Our software helps people save energy and thereby reduce their carbon emissions. To date, we've saved over 8 terawatt hours, which is the equivalent of about 1.1 million cars on the road.
When you're forecasting the wind, there's so many different parameters that go into it. It would be impossible for a human to sit down and do all those calculations. We need a computer model in order to forecast it.
I write software which scans images, looking for bad images that we know are illegal. I work very closely with organizations like the National Center for Missing Children. I know that the work that we've done has impacted the life of people. And I feel very strongly about it because there's a lot of social problems right now that could really leverage the use of technology. It's a lot about empowering the people who are there helping the world by giving them the tools to be able to do better. That's something that we can do right now, and the tools available are huge.
The merging of art and technology is getting more and more significant now. Because computers and software are such an integral part of our lives day to day, people are realizing that it can be quite creative to take this medium of computers and create incredible works of art.
In Finding Nemo, when Crush and Squirt and all the friends are flying through the East Australian Current, you're seeing images of water flowing by, you're seeing the colors on the back of the turtle, you're seeing the sides of the fish. All of those things are generated through math and computer programs that we write that we then give to the artists, and they take that to create that final image and tweak it and make it look beautiful and look fun.
The crux of it is really about invention. It's about looking at the world and being dissatisfied with things and questioning everything.
I always felt like if I didn't learn how to program, it would be like not learning how to read. You know, the future would just be closed to me.
If you're in the coding profession, there's so many things that you can do, and you can pretty much pick and choose the course you want to be in.
I think that you can start something in your college dorm room, and you can have a set of people who haven't built a big company before come together and build something that 1 billion people use as part of their daily lives is just crazy to think about, right? It's humbling and it's amazing.
Really, it's about the chance to reinvent things and then see it out there in the world and see people using it and having fun or having a better life because of something that wasn't there before that you put in the world.
So now that you have a better idea of what computer science is and all of the amazing careers linked to computer science, let's dive in. Computer programming is basically telling a computer what to do. Today, we are going to play a game using Codable, which is an app that shows kids how to do basic computer coding. Ready? Let's begin! In your Clever portal at the very top, you should see an icon that says Codable Hour of Code. Click on the icon now. When you click on the icon, you will see something that says Play Without Saving and Play with the Class or Student Code. You want to select the purple button, Play Without Saving. Now we're ready to play. Be sure to put in your headphones or disable the sound. I am going to select play.
Help Blue Fuzz get to the end of the maze. Which way does he need to go first?
So we need to get Simon Fuzzball from here to earn his first sticker. The arrow that he needs is this first one. The arrow pointing to the right.
Correct. Now which way should he go?
Once Simon is here, he will need to go down to get to his next star. So we need to give the computer a second code. The down arrow.
Correct. Now which way should he go?
Once Simon is here, he will need to go this way to collect his final star. We need to give the computer another code. We will select the arrow pointing to the right.
When you think you have the correct code, press the play button to test it.
Let's test our code. And the code worked. Now, it's your turn. See how far you can get playing Codable and learning how to code your computer. Have fun!